Clearly Reviews, and here today we're going to be talking about Marinol. Marinol is this weird pill that was actually given to AIDS patients, people that had cancer, and MS. This was something that they were giving out as a alternative to cannabis. And what Marinol even is this pill that is technically dronabinol. And yes, I'm not too sure if I just said that proper, but I'm saying it the best I can. Dronabinol is actually technically the main psychoactive compound in marijuana. So what they do is extract this compound from the plant, and they will extract it using a solvent-based material. They say it's a organic solvent-based material, but we're not 100% sure on that part. And it is basically just to help people deal with all of these different ailments. With this said though, this was only made so that they could keep marijuana illegal, and so they could still treat the people who needed marijuana. But this is very popular and very common in the drug scene. There is a lot of different herbs and plants that will literally help you resolve any of these issues, but there's not really a lot of profit in allowing those herbs and plants to be accessible and just super easy to use. So what they do is they make it illegal and they give you some synthetic pill form of it.
Because they had 6,000 herbs 6,000 years ago and knew what each one did. And,
people are very resistant to that when they don't realize that almost all pharmaceutical drugs come from plants.
You can't be against the original.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. That's government propaganda working on you. That's like remember when they had Marinol, when they were making weed illegal, and the people were going through cancer, and their doctors had prescribed them weed for chemotherapy, so they gave them Marinol. Do you remember that shit?
This isn't good. This is terrible, actually. And the effects that you would get from this certain pill itself would be hallucinations, psychosis, depersonalization, paranoia, and mood alteration. These are not really great side effects at all. And truly, at the end of the day, you aren't necessarily going to get these certain effects from cannabis in small doses or at all. So it leads me to say, are these pills completely fake? No, they weren't completely fake. They definitely were made for alternative reasons, which very much plays into the profit, but was also really made just due to the fact that they can control it and they can produce it the way they want to. When you are producing plants, it is grown for basically close to nothing. So there's just no profit margin in growing plants and selling them as is. When you cut them down and break them into pill form and really reduce the potency and maybe throw something else into the mixture to increase the potency, then you get this thing that isn't necessarily clean, nor is it safe to consume, but it is definitely going to be very profitable, and it is definitely going to be something that big pharma, or whatever these words you want to use as the thing to call them, this is what they're going to use to try to play on the game or the people, which is very sad. And at the end of the day, videos like this are somewhat necessary just to get the people aware that there are alternatives out there. And sometimes they will be plants. Sometimes, most of the times, herbs will actually be able to actually relieve a lot of these different things that people find very, very hard to deal with. Whether it's nausea, whether it's a lot of these different things that people will have to deal with if they have cancer or other certain type of medical ailments, you can definitely deal with it with plants. And cannabis is definitely one of those very magical ones that will help you with a lot of them. But Marinol is not going to be one of those alternative easier routes. If you are taking a pill for this type of ailment, then there is a huge chance you will get addicted to these pills because they aren't made in a super potent form. They are only made to kind of entrap the people, and they aren't cheap either. So this was definitely a great video for me to do for the channel. As you've seen in the first clip that I played, Joe Rogan was speaking about this, and this was definitely an interesting thing for me to see that was motivating for me to do this video. I definitely hope I did this properly, and if anyone has any questions regarding this, let me know down in the comments. I do appreciate it, everyone. Stay blessed.